Yesterday, Mitt Romney gave a speech to a room full of thousands of Utah Republicans. And even though he's a Republican senator from that state, the Trumpers in the room, the Trump fanatics in the room, they didn't applaud him, they didn't welcome him, they booed him mercilessly.
So what do you think about President Biden's first 100 days? Now, you know me as a person who says what he thinks, and I don't hide the fact that I wasn't a fan of our last president's character issues. And I'm also no fan... Aren't you embarrassed? And I'm also no fan of the president's...
And so that's just a short clip of the booing, but it was like that for minutes. Basically, the entirety of his speech, he was booed. There was some scattered applause in the room, but for the most part, Utah Republicans took a deep stand against their own senator. And it wasn't some generalized anger, because the other Republican senator, Mike Lee, also from Utah, the two senators per state, he spoke and got basically rounds of applause. No one really booed Mike Lee. And so this has everything to do with Trump insanity, with Trump lies and Trump delusion. Because let's be 100% clear, Mitt Romney is no moderate. Mitt Romney is not a centrist. This is the guy that called corporations people. This is the guy who's a multi-millionaire that has a special elevator for his cars. This is a guy that got rich destroying companies and destroying jobs of working and middle-class Americans, laughing while doing it. This is the binders full of women guy. This is not a moderate conservative. He's not. And yet they're calling him a traitor and a communist. They're calling literal Mitt Romney, a right-wing Republican, a communist. But the point is, Mitt Romney is evil in these people's eyes because he doesn't believe Trump lies. And Utah's not even a particularly pro-Trump Republican state. A lot of Utah Republicans are wary of Trump in comparison to others. And even here, Mitt Romney is basically seen as the devil. This shows one thing, not that you should feel sympathy for Mitt Romney. I don't care about Mitt Romney. Not that you should feel bad for moderate Republicans if they even exist. This shows how the Republican Party is beyond redemption, because you have in Mitt Romney a conservative, somebody that believes in true conservative values and believes them honestly, fights unions, fights workers, fights for the rich, fights for religious conservatives, everything a supposed right-winger would want. And because he simply said the truth, Joe Biden won in 2020, he is 100% unacceptable to the Republican base. This is the lesson here. The lesson has never been, if we can only get a Mitt Romney or a Susan Collins or a Lisa Murkowski or an Adam Kinzinger to be the next nominee, if we can only get a Liz Cheney in charge, the Republican Party can be saved. No, the point is, all along, these people have always been a small minority in an insane anti-democratic authoritarian party. And let's also be clear that a lot of these people will say they're taking principled stands, but 90%, 80% of the time, when the chips were down, they voted with Trump on the issues that mattered to Trump. Don't let these people rehabilitate the Republican Party. It's always been evil.